Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Well, let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today's first story comes from Hot Professional 6249 from the Am I Wrong subreddit, and says, am I wrong for divorcing my ex-wife over kids and now refusing to be a part of her son's life? I want to preface this by saying that I have no intentions of getting back with my ex, and I'm in a very happy relationship with my now fiance. I'm sorry this is long. I just wanted to add all the context in, and I'm not the best with words. I, 46 male, married my ex-wife, 45 female, when we were 26 and 25 respectively. At that time, we were both on the fence about having kids. I knew since college that I wanted to retire early. My dream of having financial freedom was what really made me realize that kids didn't fit into the life I wanted. I was trying to find the right time to talk with her about it, but over the next few weeks, she started dropping hints that she wanted kids. She started showing me photos of her friends' kids, commenting on our nieces and nephews, joking about her getting or being pregnant. That one freaked me out, and even bought me a book on the joys of fatherhood that she thought I'd find interesting. I sat her down and asked her if she wanted kids, and she admitted that over the years she had grown to want a family. We had a conversation about it, and I realized that neither one of us was going to change our minds. I didn't want to keep her from what she wanted in life, so I brought up divorce. She really didn't want a divorce and kept trying to get me to want kids, but I stuck to what I wanted and we ended up separating. I obviously still loved her, but that's why I wanted to divorce. We were still young and she could find someone to have a family she wants with. I didn't want her to resent me for forcing my life choices onto her. Even after I filed for divorce, she still didn't agree with me and dragged it out as long as she could. So the divorce took almost 2 years. I dated over the years, but never really found someone that I could see myself sharing the rest of my life with until I met my now fiance 4 years ago. Apparently my ex-wife struggled with dating as well and hasn't remarried yet. She has a son, but the kid's dad isn't in the picture. She recently reached out to me and asked if we could meet to catch up. I talked with my fiance about it and she thought it'd be a great way to clear any bad blood between us. I agreed to meet up with her for coffee. Things seemed to be going well until she brought up her son. She asked me if I was willing to be a part of his life as a masculine influence. I told her I was glad she was able to have a child, but it still wasn't something I was interested in. She tried to change my mind by saying that we could be a family again. She kept trying to convince me, and I kept trying to change the subject. I admit I got frustrated because things weren't going as I hoped they would. And I told her that I was happy with my fiance and that I was not interested in her. She started to insult my fiance, so I left. I thought what happened was crazy. When I agreed to meet with her, it never even occurred to me that she might want to get back together, considering how long it's been and, I'm not single. She kept messaging me, so I blocked her. I don't plan on talking with her again. I was talking with my sister and her husband about it, and they said that while I'm totally right for rejecting her now, that it was an arsehole move on my part to divorce her in the first place, and that I was now being an arsehole again by not being part of her kid's life. They both agreed that my ex was right for wanting to work it out. They said it's my fault that her child doesn't have a father, and that if I had given kids a chance, I would have changed my mind. I just don't agree that kids are something one should compromise on. I just don't see how it's possible for it not to be a bad situation for everyone involved that breeds resentment. I don't know my ex's child at all, and I don't agree that it's my responsibility to step up just because his bio dad didn't. I asked some other friends and family and they agreed with my sister, so now I'm not sure if what I did was wrong or not, and I was just wrongly justifying it to myself. Holy moly, what kind of mental gymnastics are we doing today? Clearly, splitting up was the right thing to do in your situation. One of you wants kids, one of you doesn't. You're going down different paths in life, so staying together is obviously going to cause resentment either way, whichever path you was to choose. Your brother-in-law and sister-in-law saying, it's your fault and that you should have given kids a chance. It's just bloody madness. And it's your fault that this child doesn't have a father. I absolutely feel for the kid if, they're innocent in this. But that still doesn't make it OP's responsibility. But Road No says, damn, people give me headaches. So it's your fault that she has no father figure in her son's life because you divorced her before he was conceived with someone else. Because you didn't want kids. That makes perfect sense if you are a moron. It sounds like she is as well as your sister and her husband. Not your wife, not your kid, not your life, not your problem. You should suggest that your brother-in-law fill the role as you go low contact with them and no contact with your ex. Oops, I forgot to say, you are not wrong. Italy says, not wrong. You did the right thing in divorcing her over having very different expectations for your lives. If you divorced her over you not wanting kids, I can't understand why she would think that you would want or be willing to fill a fatherly type role with a kid she did end up having with someone else. Your sister and brother-in-law are nuts. Kids are not something to compromise on. They are 2 yes, 1 no situation. OP responds saying she used my social media post of me with mine and my fiance's nieces and nephews as proof that I wasn't against kids. I like kids, I just don't want any of my own. She thought I had changed my mind about kids because of those posts and said I was being a hypocrite by refusing to be in her son's life the way I was in my nieces and nephews' lives. Lamb says I would laugh in your sister's face. It's my fault he doesn't have a dad. It's not an OP's son. It's some other dude's kid. Fucking delusional. You are not wrong at all. OP responds saying, what they are arguing is that if I hadn't divorced my ex-wife, she could have convinced me to have kids, and then her kids would have a father figure. I was the one who pushed for divorce and broke our potential family. Ma1910 says you weren't wrong for getting divorced. You wanted different things. You didn't want children and she did. There's no way you can stay married when that happens. I think she may have regretted the decision she made in the past, but there's no way she can go back in time. If I were you, I would block her and go no contact. Nothing good will come from you having contact with her. And one more comment from Stray's mum who says you are absolutely not wrong. You divorced when you realized that your life goals were different. Your ex chose to have a child with another man. In what world would you want to get back together with a woman you divorced years ago when you have moved on and found happiness? Or be responsible for another man's kid? I don't understand why your family is pushing this crazy idea because it is all kind of Looney Tunes. By the way, it is okay to want to be child-free. Not everybody is cut out for parenthood or interested in children. I chose to be child-free and got looked at like I'd grown another head because women are supposed to want to pop out babies. Nope, not for me. To which Obi responds saying thank you for this. A lot of people are saying the same thing and I'm not sure who to reply to, so I chose you. I was sure my ex was being crazy, but when my family agreed with her, I felt like I was crazy. I'm now seeing that my first assessment is correct. My fiance has been trying to tell me my sister is off her rocker for a while now. I've shown her this post and all she had to say was, I told you so. And OP adds one more bit of additional information because someone suggests is there any chance that it could be yours, any chance at all? OP says we divorced 16 years ago and a son is 11, so no possible way he could be mine. Thank you for your concern, but my fiance is fine. No shadow was created. We are both very secure in our relationship and she was the one who encouraged me to meet with her so she could apologize to me for how she lied and talked shit about me. Even though that's not what ended up happening, my intentions were clear and never changed. I'm about 98% sure who the kid's father is, and if I'm right, I don't really blame him. I obviously feel bad for the kid, but he was, in my books, still a kid as well. The guy I think is the father is currently about 30, I think, but he was a recent high school graduate when my ex got pregnant. My ex and him got engaged. He moved away suddenly and nobody could get a hold of him. Then it came out that my ex was pregnant. He was in a trade apprenticeship program before he left, but I don't know where he is or how he's doing now. So OP comes back in to update and says, so some things have happened. My ex-wife somehow got a hold of my fiance's phone number. She contacted her yesterday and made false accusations that I cheated on her when we met up for coffee. Obviously, my fiance didn't believe her and just blocked her number. This morning, my sister showed up uninvited to my fiance's house with her kids, demanding to talk. We don't live together and I was not there. My fiance originally wasn't going to let them in, but my sister sat on her porch and refused to leave. It was cold and windy and the kids didn't have coats on, and since it's not the kids' fault, she ended up giving in. She put on a show for the kids and made some coffee to prepare herself for whatever shit my sister was going to say. My sister started a whole spiel about how if she, my fiance, really cared about me, not just money, then she would do what's best for me and leave. My sister claimed that since I'll always be connected to my ex, that I will be forever unhappy if I'm with anyone else. Apparently, if my fiance doesn't leave me, it's proof that she's only with me for my money. And that it's obvious that my ex and our child, which, what the fuck, it's not my kid, would actually use the money in a godly way. My fiance laughed in my sister's face and just stared at her until she left. My fiance and I are both a little confused by what she said. I'm better off financially than my fiance, but not by much. I'm also not religious, so even if I did get back with my ex, me and my money would still not be godly. We know she's crazy, but again, why did she think her plan would do anything? After my sister left, my fiance called me and told me what happened. I called my sister to tell her, 1, to leave my fiance alone, and 2, that she was crazy and delusional. She defended herself by saying that she knew what was best for me and was just protecting me from going through with the wedding since my fiance was obviously taking advantage of me, and that since I'm under her spell, I can't protect myself. I again told her that she was crazy and delusional, and told her that I never wanted to hear from her or anyone else who's siding with my ex again, and to please pass that message on. Every time a family member or friend messages me about it, which has been 6 just since this morning, I ask them what their thoughts on the matter are, and if they side with my ex or sister, I block them. Someone questions OP on the back of that one and says, so how many people in your family have you blocked so far? OP responds saying 10, including my sister. This is because I also block the spouses of the person. I've also blocked 2 couples that I'm friends with, not anymore, that I'm not related to. Someone asks OP what race and religion are you and your ex, and OP says I'm half Korean, half white, European and agnostic. My ex is white European and Christian, very specific church, but if I say what it is, it'll be fairly easy for anyone to find me and my family. My fiance is white European and somewhat agnostic, but does have some fluid spiritual beliefs. My fiance is also a divorcee. She divorced her ex-husband because he had an affair, and apparently that is not a good enough reason. I know 3 people, including my sister, that have forgiven their spouses for cheating. My fiance has a very extensive rock collection, hobby, does yoga, easy on the joints, and burns incense. It smells good. My family has seen a few Facebook posts about witches and thinks she's one. In their eyes, it means she's worshipping the devil. And one of the top comments said on this one, your sister and family's reaction makes a lot of sense with your edit to the first post, that they're all part of a religion that doesn't believe in divorce. Like the other commenters, I was wondering what the fuck your family was on until I read the edit. Glad your fiance is in your corner and not versed in what it takes to get a restraining order, no contact order or something similar, but maybe start looking into something like that for your ex-wife. It's too bad that her son's bio dad isn't in the picture, but you literally have nothing to do with that. And you are right, having kids is not a thing to try and see if you like. There is no undo button without tragedy, trauma, and or at least one person going to jail for murder. Holy testicles, absolutely, it's one of those cases that is no contact with that side of the family. They sound mad. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? And let's move on to another story from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit from OKGrape3079, and says, am I the arsehole asking my sister to fuck off and telling her that her pregnancy is not my problem? I, 32 male, have a sister, Andrea, 27 female. The issue is that they have always showed her more preference, and although I was not badly treated, they hardly paid any attention to me, because she's the golden child, I suppose. She herself treated me with disdain. Before our parents died, they left everything for her instead of myself in the will. I knew that she herself had been behind this. My parents literally told me, Andrea talked to us about how she's more deserving, and we can see how that makes sense. Do you have any objection to us giving everything to her? After all, you're older and should be more understanding, etc. I was disappointed, but just told them that I don't care and did not argue. That was a while ago. She got into an issue and had to mortgage the house and squandered the wealth over a period of time. As she requires help now, she turned to me and asked me to help her. She's also pregnant right now. I refused and told her I don't want anything to do with it and that's not my problem. She pleaded and cried so much that I felt bad, but but I told her that she's got to reap what she's sown and that it's just karma getting back to her. In the end, she told me, I know how to tarnish your reputation by using this very pregnancy. In the end, I asked her to fuck off and kicked her out of my house. She had shown up there to ask for help. Wonder whether I did anything wrong, as she's my sister after all. Am I the arsehole? Now, the only thing that seems to be holding OP back in this situation is the big classic F word, but family. The word that's always used for people to try and get their way, but we're family. Whether the sister actually said that or not, there's clearly people around OP saying this kind of thing. And no, you don't owe it to her because she's family. She hasn't treated you as family for God knows how long now, and she's still making threats towards you at the same time. Why would you help someone like that? Family doesn't treat other family members in this way. But Just Contribution says, not the arsehole. Your sister screwed you over and now wants your help. She is so used to being the golden child and getting her way that she actually thought you would favor her too. Unbelievable. My sister is also the golden child and has lied over the decades to my parents, resulting in their rejection of me. In my opinion, this is a form of murder. Like your sister, she stole my parents from my life. There is nothing okay about this. Bamf says, not the arsehole, it sounds like she's used to having someone to bail her out, and now that your parents are gone, she expects you to take their place. Especially since she has made a series of bad decisions. I suspect that even if you said just this once, if you did help her out, you'd be opening the door to her constantly, asking you for more and more. And Jess replies that saying exactly this. My older sister is the same way. Dad bailed her out of everything. Now that he's gone, she expects everyone else to fix her problems. She actually blamed me for not being able to keep her cat for her when I donated a kidney to another sister. Some people are just awful and not worth giving space in your brain. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And this one's another one from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit from Serene Chaos Explorer, and says, Am I the arsehole for skipping my stepdaughter's wedding after years of disrespect? Am I the arsehole for refusing to attend my stepdaughter's wedding? Background. My stepdaughter has always been daddy's little princess. Her wedding is approaching and she's turned into a bridezilla, expecting everyone to cater to her whims. She insisted on a lavish affair, and I'm expected to play the role of loving stepmom. Here's the kicker. She never accepted me into the family and always treated me like an outsider. So after years of enduring her subtle jabs and snide comments, I've had enough. I told my husband that I won't be attending the wedding. Why should I pretend to be happy for her when she never showed me any respect? Now my husband and his entire family are furious with me, claiming I'm ruining her special day. Am I the arsehole for standing up for myself and refusing to play the role of the supportive stepmom after years of being treated like an afterthought? So OP does edit this post after some of the comments, so I'll give you some comments and we'll go to the edit. JRM says, you're the arsehole. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're the arsehole, as you provided no context to the constant disrespect, but did insult your stepdaughter in the post. I'm going to guess this isn't some one-sided conflict. But choosing a wedding to make this stand and make her stink is an arsehole thing to do. If you have a problem with her, address through communication, not to try and make the wedding all about you. Johnny Pasanda says your lack of specifics and the hurtfulness that your absence at the wedding would inflict upon your husband suggests that you're living up to every wicked stepmother cliche. Barring some more information, you're the arsehole. Hilaire says you're the arsehole, go and be polite like an adult. You actually sound jealous and competitive with her. What are some concrete examples of what she's done? How old was she when you came along? You left out tons of details, which leads me to thinking that you are the arsehole. This also won't help your relationship with your husband, and she'll always come before you. He can't replace her, but he can get a new wife. And if she has kids, he will want to be involved, so think long and hard before you go nuclear. And it certainly did feel that way to me, like missing reasons in this one, but the post starting off with itself, my stepdaughter has always been daddy's little princess, whether this is coming from frustration from OP saying like after years of it, or there's more to this story at the same time. It's difficult, isn't it? But OP did edit the post and says, wow, I've been reading through the comments and I realize that many of you think I'm the arsehole. It's given me some perspective and I appreciate the different viewpoints. I want to provide some more details on how my stepdaughter has treated me over the years. Her disrespectful behavior wasn't always overt, but manifested in subtle yet hurtful ways. She consistently excluded me from family discussions and events, making it clear that I wasn't considered an integral part of the family. Rare acknowledgements were often accompanied by dismissive comments or condescending tones. On various occasions, she compared me unfavorably to her biological mother, emphasizing that my husband was happier when he was with her. These accumulated instances of disrespect made it challenging to connect and contributed to my decision not to attend her wedding. My husband, who invited me to the wedding, hasn't been the best at managing the dynamic between his daughter and me. He often downplayed her disrespectful behavior, urging me to let it slide for the sake of family harmony. His lack of acknowledgement and support added to the strain of our relationship. The wedding became a breaking point as he expected me to play the supportive stepmom, despite the years of disrespect. It's a complex situation, and I'm grappling with how poorly it's been handled on multiple fronts. And I think that's it really, isn't it? It still feels like there's still lots of missing reasons that we don't know about to do with the relationship here, and it just feels like a lack of communication overall. Do I think, like the one commenter said, going nuclear on this and skipping the wedding overall is going to help the situation? I can't see it helping things at all, and possibly even escalating things even further. So I think it depends how you want to handle this situation in the end. Do you want to escalate it? Do you want to talk it through? Do you want to try and build some kind of relationship in any sort of way? I don't know. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. Truly, don't forget to hit that like button as well. Hugely helps out the channel. It really does. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.